go. Welcome to another Wobbleman lesson. Here we are. Today he has been talking to me about thrusters. I'm like, come on, tell us about thrusters, Wobbleman. My name is Kim Pearl, and I'm the daughter of Jerry Willis, who is the Wobbleman. So share with us what's going on with thrusters.
Since I was about 27 years old, I've been toying around with the concept and experimenting with what I call a mass thruster.
Okay.
This mass thruster produces thrust in one direction, and that can be applied to all sort of means of transportation. A mass thruster could take care of all the, really replace all the gear train, drivetrain in vehicles such as cars and trucks, trains. You wouldn't need propellers on ships anymore. Wouldn't need propellers on submarines anymore.
Okay, so we're not talking, so it's more like a jet engine idea?
No, it's not. It's self-contained, enclosed.
Yeah.
As I envision an enclosed device, self-contained. All it requires is an outside source of energy input.
Okay.
And you result in thrust. It would have a drive system within itself, but it produces linear thrust, such that if you put it in a car, it would go carry the car forward. You put it, I'm talking about using tires, tires allow a car to go front or back. Then you could cause the car to go backwards and back up because it produces thrust in just one direction at a time, either forward or back. It could, any 360-degree direction, it could produce a thrust, but it wouldn't be of any use in a car, right? The way they're designed these days.
Yeah.
You just want a car to go forward and backwards and around the corner, this sort of thing. But
so how would that be different than what we have now?
Well, today you have a gasoline engine or an electric motor.
Yeah.
That is run by batteries. The gasoline engine has a drivetrain. It has shafts and gears that go to the drive wheels, and push the car forward.
Right.
In the electric, each wheel has an electric motor driven by the batteries. And that's the way, for instance, a lot of these electric vehicles run. They don't have a motor in the middle, the electric motor. They have a electric motor on each wheel. And that electric motor is energized to drive the car forward and backwards. This unit would replace all of that. You'd have just a self-contained unit. You could have an electric motor battery driven to drive this mass thruster. And ships, submarines, trains, and airplanes, you could have the same device.
So there would be, because when I hear thrusters, my brain keeps thinking about like jet motor.
Well, that's jets pushing air in one direction.
So it's pushing it
right
to propel it forward.
Right. Yeah.
So instead of using, like, what would be the fuel input?
Well, you'd have to have still an input in just simply a mass thruster.
Okay.
You'd have to have a source of energy, and it could be a gasoline engine.
Okay.
It could be an electric motor if you want a battery operated version.
Yeah.
One electric motor would drive the vehicle forward or reverse. And trains the same way. Could drive the train with a load forward or back. Because the only way they go, it's down the tracks. It's the way they're wheels, they're going to carry.
So wheels would serve differently. Wheels would just kind of be there.
Yeah, they'll be there as guides for the direction you're going to go.
Would you steer with wheels, or would you steer the thruster, or both?
Well, no, you don't steer the thruster. It pushes. It always thrusts in one direction. But you can turn the vehicle, which contains the thruster. And of course, the thrust goes in the direction of the wheels.
Uh-huh.
You know, as the car goes around a corner, it's still pushing the car down the center line of the axis. You're just changing. So I don't know if that made sense, but it pushes the car forward. Forward meaning forward around a curve, or forward up a hill, or down a hill.
Okay. Gotcha. Huh.
And in an airplane, it's one way because you only thrust an airplane forward. You know, the propellers and jet engine all push it in one direction. And of course,
Well,
the
I
wings,
thought there was like a reverse thrust whenever
there
they.
is, but that's redirecting the air flow of air out of the jet engines. Those are, they pop out at, you'll see them, they pop out of the back of the jet engine.
Yeah,
Push
the fin
they,
things.
instead of the gas coming straight out the back, they close it off and deflect the gas to the front. And that allows it to push the airplane
Oh.
backwards. Or
Oh.
slow it down. They use them on braking also when they land. They use
So
thrust
it's still
reversal
going the same direction. They're just
through the engine. Yeah, it's going the same direction through. They just turn it and direct it forward so they can
redirect it to be
redirect
part
it.
of the stopping.
Yeah,
Okay.
as
That's
well as they
fascinating.
use brakes as well on the wheels.
Uh-huh.
But with this thruster, you would simply redirect the direction of the thrust. If you landed the airplane wanted to stop, then you, just like in a car, when you redirect the thrust, so the car will back up, you redirect the thrust so the airplane will slow down on the runway.
Oh,
You wouldn't want to
okay.
slow it down while you're flying necessarily, but you could to,
Yeah.
you know, if you're going really fast and you want to slow down,
So this
you can.
sounds relatively smaller than when I'm like a small thruster that has power packed that.
It's not got, it's a self-contained unit. You do have to have an outside source of energy
Okay.
to drive a shaft, but the result coming out of the unit would be thrust,
Okay.
which could be used to propel any vehicle that you wanted to propel in any direction, forward or backward.
Well, you're going to have to come up with some like drawings and things for us to see
I
this thing.
already experimented with it. I know the process already.
Oh, you've got the prototype and stuff?
I've not really built a prototype that does it. I have built one that thrusts. Oh, I want to add this. About 10 years ago, I saw a video. There was a machinist in England who built a, I'm going to call it a mass thruster because the thing was almost identical to the concept that I had had.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way he put it together, but that's just because I'm a machine designer.
Yeah.
Historically, I've been a machine designer as well. I got started in the business as a machine designer.
Yeah.
But it worked. What he did actually worked. It actually produced thrust, and he ended up selling it to NASA. Who knows what NASA did with it? They may have taken it on, and we don't know about their developments. They may have developed it into who knows what. But
Wow.
it's very likely that NASA took that idea and went on with it, but we don't know about it. So I'm going to assume that, okay, NASA may or may not be doing anything with it. They may have bought it and they put the lid on it because they'd rather burn fuel, rocket fuel. You know,
Oh,
rocket fuel. It's something you got to keep buying. Whereas if you had a thruster, you just might not need to buy so much stuff for fuel anymore. If you had a thruster like this guy in England built, but it was what I call a mass thruster. And it was about 10 years ago that I saw the video, and as it concluded, he sold the concept to NASA. So we
yeah.
know NASA has got that capability, and what they've done with it, who knows? But on the other hand, I want to utilize the mass thruster. That doesn't, just because NASA's doing it doesn't mean I can't do it
Right.
or no one else. Yeah, anybody can do anything. There's no, as far as I know, there are no patents. I've never tried to do a search on that, but as far as I know, there are no patents on it. And one reason you don't get a patent is so that other people don't find out what you're doing. So you keep,
Okay.
I used to work for a company that had all kind of unique devices, they never went for patents because they didn't want the competition to find out what they were doing. So
Oh,
NASA could be in the same business, so to speak.
yeah.
They bought this thing, but they're keeping a lid on it, not promoting it, not telling people about it, because that's what they don't want everybody to know how this is done. I know how it's done because at about the age of 27, I came up with the concept myself. This fellow in England came up with the concept. He was a machinist. He went ahead and built one. I'm not a machinist, so I couldn't
Yeah.
build one. But I've never forgotten, and never forgotten about the concept or how it works. So keep in touch with that. But there will
Okay.
be further videos after this one. We'll talk a little bit more about the mass thruster
Okay.
applications.
Applications. Let me give you some fun questions as we move out of this thruster section. Okay, so here's a few questions. Would you rather have your own robot or would you rather have a jetpack?
I'd rather have a robot.
Oh yeah? Why would you want a robot?
Well, it would be able to do household chores, hopefully.
Oh, there you go.
That would
Yeah.
eliminate some of the needs in a day to fix things. Or if it were intelligent enough, a lot of the things that I do around the house, it could do, like replace light bulbs.
I'm telling you, it's crazy when you look at some YouTube videos about the robots, the human ones that they're making.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, my nose is getting kind of drippy. Ah, I want to sneeze. Okay. And they can do gymnastics.
Oh yeah,
I was amazed. So yeah, that is amazing. Okay, so would you rather drink black tea or have coffee every day?
I like coffee every day.
Coffee every day. Would you rather be in a ballet class or would you rather be in a salsa class?
Salsa.
Salsa.
Yeah.
How come?
I can't imagine myself bouncing around like a ballet dancer.
Not for the elegant, but for the get it on. Okay, would you rather have a rewind button or a pause button on your life?
I'd rather have a pause button.
There you go. All right. Would you rather always be cold or always be hot?
I like cold
You
better
like
than
cold.
hot. Yes.
I see. I don't really know. I don't like either, but I don't know. I feel like cold can kill you. I guess heat could too. But I guess if I think in seasons of the year, I like summer better. I just feel like I can get outside without being under so much harsh conditions. I don't know. I guess I would live under trees to make it work. I like snow, but I don't like single digit temperatures. It just makes me hurt. But okay, well, good to visit with you. If you have any questions for Wobbleman, go to the discussion section or actually the information section of this YouTube page. Subscribe, send an email, all of those things. Wobbleman would love to hear from you, and he's really up to having conversations with others and networking with those who have creative ideas about potential for the future. And when it comes to energy and when it comes to all kinds of fun things, scientific. Okay, have a great week and wobble on, people.